Nice and tall through the spine. Let your eye gaze turn low. And bring the palms up along the thighs. And with the palms up along the thighs, welcome in a sense of calm and ease. And then as if you're catching hold of that, turn the palms down along the thighs. Let the ease lead you into practice today, meaning sometimes the poses are easy, sometimes the poses are hard, but try to have this easeful mindset and only do what works well for you. Okay, we'll tuck the chin down to the chest. Move right ear over to the right shoulder. And then chin down to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. Just kind of rock back and forth a couple of times like this. To the right, to the left. And then keep the chin down to the chest. Take both hands behind the head and give a little push of the back of the head up into your fingertips so that you feel a light stretch from the top of the spine leading down to the tailbone. And then kind of pull the navel in towards the body so you feel a sense of strengthening along the abdomen there. Okay, we can release the hands, lift the head, open the eyes. Good. Let's come on over to all fours. Place the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, and then do cat and cow. So just change the direction of the spine back and forth here. Let the inhale pull the chest forward, eyes and tailbone up to the sky. Then on the exhale, press down through the hands and knees, round the back and drop the head. Back and forth. And then change to child's pose, knees a little bit apart. Press your hips back, reach your arms all the way out in front of you here, getting a nice full reach from hands to shoulders and shoulders back to the hip. Walk your hands a little bit over to the right side. And then walk your hands across the center over to the second side. Good. Come on back to the middle. Rise up to all fours and stretch back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift your hips. In dog pose, give a little shake of your head and a little pedal of the feet at the same time. Walk the dog, as we say. And then find a steady position in downward facing dog, and even press of the hands forward, and even pull of the thighs back and the heels down. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Okay, Chloe filled me in on y'all's health and wellness challenge, so I'm making sure that you get 5 minutes of plank in today. Squeeze the glutes, lengthen the tailbone, tone the belly, and look a little forward past the hands. Anytime we are in plank pose, please be on your knees or on your toes. You want that defining line to be that you can keep your arms straight and that you feel engaged and strong in the position. Stay here for just a moment more. And then on the exhale, lower flat down onto your yoga mat. Take the hands back behind you, point the palms to face up towards the sky, and lift. Lift everything that you can high, like we're flying. And then lower it down, press back to child's pose, hips to your heels. As you come through all fours, take your right foot forward into a low lunge and pick up your back knee. We want to end up here with the front knee stacked over the line of the ankle, the back leg high enough, lifted enough that you can make it straight. And then add the twist in this position, right hand up to the sky. Lower the right hand down, and then lower the back knee to the floor and give it a hamstring stretch in. Kick your hips back, straighten the right leg. You can flex the right foot and pull the toes back towards your face. Good, good, good. Rebend the knee. Move it around to all fours. Let's just take it into the other side. Left foot forward. Warm ourselves up here. Second side with the low lunge. Pick up the back knee. Again, hips high enough that you can feel a steady straight back leg. And then take the twist, left arm to the sky. Lower the left hand down, lower your back knee. Again, get into the hamstrings. Push your hips back, straighten the left leg more, flex the foot and pull the toes towards you. Okay, rebend the front knee. Plank pose again, step back. Look a little forward past the hands. That helps to keep the spine long. And if we're looking past the hands rather than dropping the head, our neck feels a little better. And then again, exhale and lower flat down onto your belly. Take the hands back behind you. Palms can be open or interlaced behind your back. And lift everything up. This great belly down, back bend. Lower flat against your mat and push back to child's pose again. Hips to your heels. Enjoy the long length in the arms. Let the head relax. Tuck the toes, lift your hips up for downward facing dog. And then bend your knees a lot and walk your hands backwards to your feet. So you're here at the end of the mat in a forward fold. Make this like ragdoll pose. Let the arms hang or hold on to the elbows and sway a little bit from side to side. Let the breath go. And then slowly roll on up to standing. And move the shoulders up and back a couple of times. And then forward and down a couple of times. Okay, let's make our way to the top of the mat. I have some what I think are fun sun salutations planned for us today to get our bodies really into the flow of practice. Stand here at the top of the mat in mountain pose. So just as steady as a mountain, grounded down into your feet. Lift it all the way out through the crown of the head. And then lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. And lift halfway up. Hands can go to your thighs or to the shins. Extend from the hips out to the head so that we form an L shape in the body. And then step back to plank. Hold here at the top of the push-up. We'll make sure that we have about a 5 to 10 second hold each time to get that time in. And then you lower down flat against the mat. Cobra, press down through the hands and the feet. Peel your chest up. And then change to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes and lift the hips all the way up and back. Okay, go back to your low lunge. So right foot forward to that low lunge. Keep stepping until you get your full stride. And then hands to the waist, lift your torso straight up and down. High lunge, take the arms to the sky. Add an extra breath in here. And then from the hips, hinge. Press your butt back and your hands forward. Lay your torso down onto or very close to your thigh. So you're pretty much as long as you can be from your fingertips to the back heel. Keeping that, drop the arms down to the inside of your foot. And then spin the left heel flat against the ground. So you get 2 flat feet now. Down dog lunge. Everything stays where it is in the legs, and then just walk your hands out. The hands could walk straight ahead or a little more towards the left. It's up to you. Try squeezing your inner thighs towards each other at the same time as you're pressing your feet down and away from each other. That usually keeps us quite busy. And then bring the hands back in, lift the back heel, and step back to plank. Here's part of the fun of the sun salutation. You hold plank, or you can do a good old-fashioned push-up in between. Everyone lift to downward facing dog. And then we'll try it on the second side. Step the left foot forward into the low lunge. Come upright in the torso. Lift the arms to the sky. Going for some big, powerful, bold poses for election day here. Lower the hands to the inside of your foot and spin the right heel flat down. So again, 2 solid feet on the ground, legs like warrior 2, and then walk your hands out like your upper body is trying to do downward facing dog. And again, if the hands go more over the front corner of the mat, that's generally a little harder, but if you walk your hands more to the right side, it might be a little more easeful, and we're always looking for that balance. Enough ease to find a good breath in the poses. Then bring it back into your low lunge. Find your way to plank. And again, it's like the pick your own adventure. You hold plank or put a push-up in there. And then do downward facing dog. Bend the knees and walk your hands backwards to your feet. Come up halfway. Forward fold. And then stand up, arms to the sky. Hooray. 1 round, done. Okay, we'll release the arms and take a little walk back up to the front of the mat. We'll do a lot of things the same and a few things different here the second time around. Again, from mountain pose, lift the arms up to the sky. And then fold down to your toes. Lift up halfway. Strengthen the core, nice length through the hamstrings and low back. And then step back to plank pose. Every time you're in plank, really spread the fingers wide. Do a little extra grip through the thumb and the first finger so that the weight travels to the inner edges of the hand. It makes it more doable over time. And then here we can lie flat down against the mat. Cobra, peel the chest up, press down through our hands and feet. And change, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going back to the low lunge, so step the right foot forward. Okay, this time I want to keep us forward in the torso, but take your hands to your hips. So reaching from the crown of the head forward and to the back heel back. Now change to a twist. Bring the palms together like prayer hands and take the left elbow towards the right side. You can stay lifted or hook the elbow to the outside of the leg. Try to push your top hand down into the bottom hand. Help that turn of the belly. And keep pointing the top elbow, the right elbow, to the sky. Okay, untwist. I think this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Bring the hands back to the hips. You have to keep the balance and lift your torso upright and arms to the sky for that high lunge. And then lower the hands, either side of the front foot, step back, plank pose. You hold plank, toes or knees, or add the push-up. And then everyone downward facing dog. We've got one more side like this. Step the left foot forward, get it into your full stride. Anytime, I should mention that we're in these lunges, we can have the back knee down. That, of course, gives you a little bit more stability and balance. If you're going for the challenge, that strength build, we'll keep the back knee up. Hands to your hips here. So we're way forward in the torso, looking down. And then change, hands together and add the twist. I like to keep my eye gaze down the entire time, just for most ease and balance. If you're looking for a deeper balance challenge, you can certainly look to the side or even up while you're in the twist. All right, keep pushing through the front big toe as you untwist. Hands to the hips and lift the torso. All those little changes in balance. Lift the arms to the sky, taking a big breath. Again, that big, bold pose. And then lower the hands, either side of the front foot. Step back to plank. You know what's here. It's a hold of plank or the push-up. And then downward facing dog. Okay, nice bend in the knees. Walk your hands backwards again. We come up halfway and totally fold over, forward fold. Stand all the way up, reach the arms to the sky, hooray. Bring the hands back down through the center. Okay, guess what? So that's 2 down. There's 1 more to go. Take another walk up to the front. Get ourselves good and heated through this practice today. Lift the arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back, plank position. This is the little longer hold in plank right here. Squeeze the glutes, lengthen the tailbone, tone the belly, look slightly forward. All of the good measures. And then with as much control as possible, lower down, flat against your mat. Good, cobra. Use the feet and the hands to press down, peel the chest up. Change to downward facing dog. Okay, this one's a little bit different. Step the right foot through to your low lunge. And now spin the back heel down, but with the back toes turned in towards the front left corner of the mat. So that as you come upright, your hips and shoulders are still mostly facing that front right foot. Warrior one, lift the arms up to the sky. Big full reach. Okay, try keeping both feet down and hinge forward. And now add that twist again, palms together, left elbow towards the right. And for me, I'm not hooked to the outside of the leg, I'm more lifted. Do what you can with 2 flat feet here. Press through the left outer heel, the front big toe. And then untwist, hands to the mat, step back, plank position. Add the push-up or not, down dog. Let's see what happens on the second side. Step the left foot forward, right heel down. Try to line up front heel, straight line to the back heel, and then come upright. And again, those back toes turn towards the front corner of the mat so that we can mostly square the hips. It's not fully square, but mostly. Shoulders square. And then keeping that attention and presence in the feet, hinge forward. That takes a lot of belly strength, sort of a little lift in the pelvic floor. And bring the palms back into prayer and add the twist. It's the action of the tone, the turn of the belly here. Even if the outer picture doesn't produce a big twist, it's a lot of work within. Nicely done. Untwist, set the hands down, pick up the back heel, and step back, plank pose. One more push-up. Down dog. Take several breaths in downward facing dog. I think those are the most complex motions of the class, so we've made it through. Nice bend in the knees. Walk the hands back to your feet. Half lift and forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms overhead. Hooray, third and final sun salutation. Bring the palms back into the chest. Take a breath in. Let it go. One more time, full breath in. And let it go. Give the whole body a little bit of a shake. Okay. Good, so we're gonna use the length side of our mat and take a wide stance. Nice work, ladies. Arms out. Triangle pose coming up for us here. Turn the right toes out. Keep the arms and legs as straight as they'll go. Lean to your right side. Take the right hand down to your leg. Top arm up to the sky. If that bottom hand finds the ground with the legs still straight, that can work. I like to use the legs so that there's more ease in the whole posture for me. Stay with your breath, finding the balance here in the pose. And then inhale and come all the way upright. And we'll turn the feet to the second direction. Back toes straight ahead, front toes all the way out. Reach as far as you can to the left. Hold on to your lower shin or further down, top arm to the sky. Good. Try to take that top shoulder and lean it back as well so that it's not blocking your view as you look up to your fingertips. And come all the way back up. Turn the feet parallel to one another, wide-legged forward fold here. Send it on down, hands to the floor, head towards the ground. We're not at all trying to get the head on the floor. Instead, we're looking for a good steady stretch, the back of the legs. Push more weight into your toes, maybe a little more weight into the hands so that you can get that safe stretch through the back of the legs. And then bring the hands back to the hips, press down into your feet, come all the way upright, and heel toe your feet in. So I want us to stay right here in the center of the mat, and then just turn your right foot out. It takes a little bit of a step. Bend both knees so that you can bend over and take your right hand to the ground. And if you're working with a yoga block and want to slip your hand under a yoga block so it's a little higher, that works too. Keep your right knee bent as you bring all of your weight into right hand, right foot, and try to lift your left leg up as high as your hip. Make your left leg as straight as it'll go. And you can keep walking your right fingertips further away from your legs so that you have bigger weight distribution and balance. Half moon pose, take the top arm towards the sky. And then lower the lifted leg and just slowly walk it back up to standing. Good? So a lot of times this half moon pose, we see it from like a big wide stance to start with in our legs. I think it's easier to find the balance in the shorter range. So then we're going to do the second side. Just turn your toes out, bend both knees, and you're going to fold over until your left hand. You probably don't want your palm down, that's restrictive, but like up on the fingertips so you have room to move with it. And then you're just shifting your weight over into the hand, into the foot, until your right leg can fly up. Point your right toes. It's funny, but it helps. And then take the right arm up to the sky. I like to look down the whole time, again, for that ease and balance. And then the top leg comes down right beside you. And stand back up. Cool. I hope that worked. We'll take it from a wider stance next just to see how that plays with the pose. So take the feet out wide again. Arms out in either direction. If you're using a yoga block, you'll use it to your right side as we turn the right toes out and take warrior two. Okay. So I think this entry is a little more difficult because it's already asking more in the hips. But from here, you could lean over and take the right fingertips down. And then slide into the lift of half moon and right arm up to the sky. And then for this one, as you come down, try to get into that long stance again. So you're basically going all the way back into warrior two legs and build the torso upright. Straighten the leg and turn. Okay, so you're getting in all of the depth of the hip mobility right here from warrior two. And then you're staying with it as you take the left fingertips down. This is where a lot of folks get stuck. So you could think of it like that last one where you just heel toe in until you are unstuck and can lift the leg up. Or go for the big leap of faith. We need a little bit of both these days. If you've found a breath or two of balance, come back out of the pose, everybody. Warrior two. And straighten the leg, turn the toes. Good, we can just come all the way back together. 1, 2 little looks at half moon pose. Take the arms straight out in front of you and lift your right knee in between the chest, the arms. Let's wrap the arms under our leg today and try to lift it up a little bit taller. That's it. And then keep one arm wrapped underneath there, the same arm as the leg. The other hand could come out for counterbalance. And I'm just rotating the hip open to the side. Good. Can you take that counterbalance arm all the way up to the sky here? You're doing it. And then keep the leg as lifted as you can and try to take both arms up. Nicely done. Both arms down to the ground and shake it out. Okay, we've got one more side. Take both arms straight out in front of you. And then lift the left knee up. And wrap both arms under the left thigh and try to lift it up higher. Take your counterbalance. And I'm kind of tricking us into a third look at half moon. It's as if that here in plank pose, try lifting one leg up and then set it down, lift the other leg up and set it down. Do it one more time, first side, set it down, second side, and set it down. Lower flat to lie down onto your yoga mat. Bend both knees. To start with, have your feet, the inner edges of your feet touch, but the knees are going to stay wide. And then reach your hands back like we're doing those belly down flying positions. And lift everything that you can up, 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 up. Even if we don't get very high, we do all of the work and strive. And then lower it down. Release the arms and legs, turn to one cheek. Let yourself be right there. Just take in the breath, let it go, a few rounds of breath. And then one more time, bend both knees. You either do the same thing with the hands reaching back but not holding the ankles, or a little extra work back to hold on to your ankles. Spread your toes so that you find your shins, your calves really strong. And lift everything that you can again here for bow pose. Let your arms actually do some work to lift your feet higher. Stretch your chest forward and your knees back. And then exhale, release down. Splat down. Turn the opposite cheek to the mat. And everyone push back to child's pose, hips to the heels. Sit heavy there in child's pose. If you find more ease with your seat higher in this position, do that. If it feels good, Let the seat sit lower. Then from here, I want us to crawl out to all fours. Much like we had started, do cat and cow again. I can always kind of see the change from the beginning of class into the middle of class. When I come back here to cat and cow, I hope that you see that as well. A little bit more room and space in the movement. Maybe just slides a little easier. And then everybody take downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Pigeon pose. Bring the right knee behind the right wrist. And walk the left leg back until you can come down to your forearms. I've got the front heel kind of tucked in towards the left hip. You could also take the front foot further out, away from your hip, as long as that all feels quite good to you in the joints. Stay just as you are in the legs and build your torso more upright. Hands maybe on either side or just slightly in front of your chest. And try pulling the left heel in towards your sit bone. If that causes like a Charlie horse or something too intense, leave the leg down. If you've got the heel up and want to do a little deeper quad stretch, take the same hand as your foot. Try to spin it around so that your thumb is on the big toe side of your foot. And then bend at the elbow so that your elbow points up to the sky as you pull the heel even closer into the body. Slow rotation, work with it. And nice and slow release. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, knee off of the ground, plank. And then lift the hips for down dog. And do the second side here. So it's probably your left knee to the left wrist, heel tucked in towards the right side. And then slowly walk the right leg back so that more of the front of your thigh gets on the ground. As you come down to the forearms, I always think that feels nice. It takes the back bend out of the position, lets you really focus on the hip opening. Try to keep your weight pretty balanced here. As much weight on the right leg as wants to happen on the left. And then again, walk the hands back in, lift the torso. Hands can stay just slightly forward or on each side of the hips, just what works for your back. And then pull the back heel in. Stick with that or leave it out. And then take the right hand all the way around. Try to put the thumb on the big toe side of the foot. That might be quite enough quad stretch. If you're looking for more intensity still, pull the heel in towards the outer sit bone by bending at the elbow and rotating the fingers down. And then ever so slowly release. We all find our way through one more plank pose. Again, plank pose from toes or from the knees. Everyone go down to the knees for a moment if you're on your toes. So go down to the knees and then change to your forearms. You can interlace the hands to make that a little bit more doable. And try plank from down on the forearms. Even here, try to look forward past the hands, past the front of your mat. And we'll hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down, press back to child's pose. I'm saying we did at least 5 minutes in plank. And we can change to an upright seat. As you sit up on your mat, extend your legs out in front of you. We'll get in some good stretch still here. Let the power of the class kind of settle back down a bit. So just for a moment, turn your gaze low or close your eyes. Fierce even in our stillness, and especially in our softness. Both can come together. Fold over, seated forward fold here. Just let the back evenly round here. Think rainbow shape, nice even fold. If you have a little too much strain and feel the stretch more behind the knees or tickled in the low back, bend your knees more so that you do get the stretch through the spine and through the back of the legs. Great. And then as you come back upright, take your right foot in, let the knee go out to the side like you're in tree pose, and fold over. So just one-legged forward fold here, same actions. Slow down the breath. Build your torso back upright and change this into a twist. So then we'll take our right foot to the left side, knee straight up. Hug around the front of your shin. Look to the side or back over your right shoulder. You could also take the twist even deeper, elbow to the outside of the knee, much like we had seen in that sun salutation set of our twist. And on your next inhale, untwist. Extend both legs out. We'll switch sides. So it's that tree pose leg on the left side. And then fold over your right leg. The hands can just rest beside you or hold on to your leg or your foot. And slowly walk yourself back upright and take your left foot over the right leg. That good squeeze around your front shin to sit up really tall. And then twist is going across your thigh to look towards your left side. Okay, inhale, come back to the center. Stretch both legs straight out in front. Give it a little wiggle. And then we're going to lie all the way down onto our yoga mat. As you lie down, pull your knees into your chest. Let yourself rock a little bit from side to side. And take the hands fully out to a T shape. If you don't quite have that much working space, bend at your elbows like goalposts. And we'll take both legs over to the right. And if you kind of squeeze your knees higher up towards the elbow, that should be more easeful on the back. The lower we keep our legs, like more towards knees in line with the hips, that's asking for a little more torque or twist in the torso. So just finding what works for you. No wrong or right position. Just make sure it feels good. Change this twist to the second direction. Lower the knees to the second way. I always like in this supine twist, I keep my knees hiked up pretty high towards the line of my elbow, and does a little less rotation in the torso. Excuse me, but it ends up giving a good stretch through the outer hip. So that's what I go for here. And then bring everything back into the middle. Again, hug your knees into your chest. If you like Happy Baby, do that here. If not, just keep hugging knees to chest. Happy Baby is with your feet as wide as the knees, holding on to your feet. And then two options here. Set your feet down to the mat. Either have the knees fall in, and you could do both of these, but have the knees fall in so it lets your low back relax and be heavy down to the mat. That one might feel really nice and you could stay there. Or heel toe so that your feet are together, and then let your knees open up to the sides in our bound angles or that butterfly position. It does give more curve and lift of the low back, so if that's not a great position for you, go back to the first. Knees in or knees out. Give yourself about 5 to 6 long breaths here. Go ahead and close your eyes if that feels all right to you. You're, of course, more than welcome to stay just as you are, or shift here to your final relaxation pose. Legs out, arms out in a traditional Shavasana. Sometimes folks prefer a seat of meditation. Find where you can be still, as at ease and released as possible. Do a quick mental scan of the body. Notice if there's anything further to release, to relax, maybe in the fingers and the toes. Walk up the arms, up the legs to more release through the trunk of the body. From the top of the trunk, the shoulders, through the neck and the head, release and relax. And then slowly now bring awareness back to fingers and toes. Take your time to stretch the arms overhead, way out to the feet. And then gradually move back into a seated position. You can rock up or over to the side first. Keep your gaze low or your eyes even closed for just a moment more. Much like we had started, tuck chin down to the chest and then just rock side to side, little half moon shapes. And keep the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Walk the left fingertips out to the side so you get a little bit more stretch. Place the hand back along your thigh. Rock the chin to the second direction, left ear to left shoulder. Walk the right hand out. And then bring it all back. Keep the chin tucked as you gather the palms together. And deep gratitude to yourself, each other, for this practice. Namaste. Thank you. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day. You are welcome. Stay Zen.